The debates rage on, but the first 12-team college football playoff bracket is set. The CFP Selection Committee released its final rankings Sunday after several important decisions. SMU received the final at-large berth over Alabama, while Boise State ranked ahead of Arizona State among conference champions. Texas, Penn State, Notre Dame, and Ohio State were designated as the 4 teams to host first-round games. However, seeding only sometimes determines the path to the national championship game in Atlanta on January 20th. Here's a breakdown of the easiest and hardest paths to the title. Easiest path to national championship. Georgia. The SEC champion has arguably the easiest path. With the country's most formidable strength of schedule, Georgia receives a first-round bye. It will face either Notre Dame or Indiana in the quarterfinals at the Sugar Bowl. If Georgia advances, a potential semifinal matchup could be against Boise State, Penn State, or SMU. Texas. With only one loss this season, Texas, the highest-ranked at-large team, has a favorable road to the semifinals. In the first round, they'll face the lowest-ranked team in the field, Clemson. In the quarterfinals, Big 12 champion Arizona State awaits. A semifinal matchup with undefeated Oregon, Ohio State, or Tennessee could follow. Boise State. The Mountain West champions receive a first-round bye and are ranked third highest conference champion, ahead of Arizona State and Clemson. Boise State will face either Penn State or SMU in the quarterfinals at the Fiesta Bowl. Georgia, Notre Dame, or Indiana could be their next semifinal opponent. Penn State. The Big Ten runner-up has a surprisingly easier path than the Big Ten champion, a flaw that may need addressing in future years. Penn State hosts SMU in the first round and faces Boise State or SMU in the quarterfinals. They could meet Georgia, Notre Dame, or Indiana in the semifinals. Oregon. The Ducks, the only undefeated team this season, received a first-round bye. However, the seeding imbalance due to the top 4 conference champions being the top 4 seeds could make Oregon's journey more challenging. Oregon will face Ohio State or Tennessee in the Rose Bowl, with Arizona State, Texas, or Clemson awaiting in the semifinals. Arizona State. The Sun Devils had a strong case for the number 3 seed, which would have given them a more favorable path. With a first-round bye, Arizona State must travel to play Texas or Clemson in the Peach Bowl in the quarterfinals. Most arduous path to national championship. Indiana. Indiana faces one of the most challenging roads to the title. They must win at Notre Dame and then beat Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. If they advance, a semifinal matchup with Boise State, Penn State, or SMU looms. If Indiana can survive these gauntlets, they'll have earned their spot in the national championship game. Tennessee. Tennessee missed out on hosting a first-round home game and now faces a difficult journey. To win the semifinals, the Vols must win at Ohio State and beat Oregon in the Rose Bowl. Both Tennessee's losses came away from Neyland Stadium, adding further pressure on the Vols to perform on the road. Clemson. As the number 12 seed, Clemson has the longest road to the title. Their first-round matchup is against Texas on the road. If they manage to win, Arizona State awaits in the quarterfinals, and then a top-seeded Oregon team could stand between them and the national championship. SMU. Including SMU in the bracket over Alabama raised many questions, but the Mustangs could still make a run. To reach the semifinals, they must win at Penn State in the first round and then face Boise State in the quarterfinals. The path to the title is challenging but possible for SMU. Ohio State. The Buckeyes are still reeling from losing to Michigan, but they still have a shot at the national title. Ohio State will host Tennessee in the first round and then face Oregon in the quarterfinals. A potential semifinal matchup against either Penn State, Boise State, or SMU is in the cards. Notre Dame. Notre Dame is in a tough spot, ranked just behind Texas and Penn State but ahead of Ohio State. The Fighting Irish will face Indiana in an in-state rivalry game in the first round and, if they advance, will meet Georgia in the quarterfinals. Each team's path to the national championship is fraught with challenges, and the 12-team playoff system ensures that every matchup will be critical. The debates may rage on, but the excitement for this historic college football playoff is just beginning.